Hello, my name's Stephen from K-Scale Models, and today I'm doing another build-along video where I'm going to make some greebles and sort of give you a use case for them at the end. So, let's start with something simple. So I'm just going to go and create a sketch in Fusion 360, and I'm going to make a bolt. Now, this is the old way I used to make a bolt. I used to draw a circle, so that's C for Charlie to draw a circle, L for Lima to draw a line. There is, of course, all the actual ones up here. So line there, circle there, and you can get them with drop downs. So once I've done that, I use the constraint equal, and these all now equal each other. So, yeah, the shape looks weird until you actually get all the parts equal, and then it actually resembles a hex. And we're going to say that is 2 mil. And there, that's it, fully constrained. But that's a slow way of doing it. There's a much quicker way that I now regret not knowing, and it is going into this, and we can do either of these. This is polygon, so this is probably going to end, yeah, this is kind of what I was doing there. So it's creating a circle, which is 2 millimeters, and we've got 6-sided, so that's what this number is. You can change it to whatever you want, but for this, we're just going to use 6. So just remember that in the future, it can be useful. And I've just realized I've done something stupid. This number is radius, not diameter. So to get these two looking the same, I have to put 1 in. So sometimes you have to use your noggin and actually like times and divide stuff. So yeah, now just to make this all equal, there. Now, you notice I will constrain everything. That's just because Fusion 360, it prefers you to do that. So, let's extrude these two out. We'll extrude them out, 1.5. That's a bit much. Let's do it 0.8. So yeah, that looks more like a hex bolt. Now, this would be the bolt. So, if you were, like, say, this was on a back plate or something, like there's a plate here, the bolt, oh, that's the bolt head. Now, let's say it was a nut. So this is now the nut. So with a nut, you're going to expect to see a bit coming through. So let's just go and draw that. So, and just make this centered. Now, I've just used the line command, L for Lima again. And I'm now using X for X-ray to create, construction lines. And I'm just going to do that just to make them all, make that 1, and there. So I'm going to extrude this, we'll just say 1 again. So there, that is the sort of screw from the bolt coming through. And we're going to use a thread command, and you can actually go model, and this is quite important. If you do model, you actually have a like proper thread. If you do non-modeled, it just shows you a pretty picture, which is a lot less processor intensive, but we're needing that. So there. Now that's probably a bit much, to be honest. Let's just drop this back a second and do 0.6. So yeah, that is now a nut and bolt. So that's the first one I'm doing. Next one I'm going to do is something familiar to all modelers because we keep calling people this, a rivet. So the rivet counters. So you'll notice that when you do a rivet, I'm just going to go back over what I did there. I did arc, I did 3-point arc. That's the one I like. There's other ones you can use. Play around with them. But yeah, you'll notice with a rivet like this, this is not actually tangential, so that will not end up looking like this. That's not how it looks. It actually kind of is flattened. So let's just go and do this. We'll do 0.4, and we'll say this is, oh, it's saying 2.5. Let's just do 2, and there. That'll look good. And then we rotate that around that, and that's our rivet. Now, what I'm going to do here is I am going to mess around with it. So if you were wanting to say do a screw or something like that, you can use a rivet head as a start because you can get these sort of capped head screws. There's not the only kind of screws. Go have a look up all the different types of fastenings and fittings in your local DIY shop sort of site. There's actually a catalogue in here, Macmillan's catalogue. I'm showing you how to draw your own ones because Macmillan's catalogue will be the correct sizes, and when we're doing this, we're not necessarily needing the correct size if we're doing something like greebling a sci-fi model. So that's why I'm going through this. So anyway, with this, what I'm going to be doing is I'm going to do a project. So P for Papa. It is also in the bit up here. I'll show it in a second. I'm going to do body. So if you went into project include P for Papa, you can also do that. That works as well. The intersect. But anyway, what I'm doing here is I'm going to do a flat-headed screw. So we want, yep, that. This is just to make this centered. Now, what do we want? We want, oh, that's a bit thin. I'll do 0.4 and there to there. 0.8. Now that's actually looking way too big. So I'm going to knock this down back to 0.2. When we're doing an actual model, this is going to be far too small. Remember, with 3D printing, 0.2 is about the limit of something that will turn out. So yeah, this is just for demonstration purposes. So, done that there. And now cut that, and I'm going to do it both sides and there. Now, that doesn't look too good. I'm going to change that in a minute, but I want to actually go and do the next step. So, this is going to be our flat head just for demonstration. So, I'm going to copy this over to the side. So, I've done move copy, and if you go create copy, and you pull off to the side, then you've got a copy. If you forgot to tick that, and you moved it off, move it back, it'll come back. So anyway, let's move this off to the side. Now go here, new, and we are, well actually, easiest way to do this is just do that. Actually, do that. You see that I've got my camera at a slight angle. Sometimes if the object is hidden, it's easier just to do that. Although I will have to go and do this just to make sure all the lines kind of line up in their direction they're supposed to. Right, so make that X. Now, this is constrained because it can't go off this line. But we need to work out what size that is. Now, I'm about to go change all these sizes, so I want to go back a step. So this is 0.6. Now, you notice here it says D13. You can actually use that. So let's just go in here quickly. D13. And it does a function. So CAD is full of little shortcuts like this, where you can get the software to do all the hard work for you. So it's advisable to do this. There is a whole plethora of things that I might show one day to help you out. But for most of what we're doing, this is kind of the use case that you'll go through. So anyway, we go cut up there, and we're going to do two-sided rather than synchronized because it's not quite that, and there. So yeah, that, to be honest, looks horrible. So I'm going to change a few bits. Now the first thing I'm going to change is this, because I think this should be probably about 4. So right off, yeah, that's looking horrible. Let's go into here. Now, I can change this to 1. No, that's way too much. 0.8. 0.6. Okay, now this, I'm going to make it 1. So if I do that, that now lines up, because what I did originally, remember, I constrained this line to be the same as that, so it can't get off it. So that keeps that bit all in sync, and this is calculating based on the sizes I gave for this bit. So that means I've now got a model. Now, little problem. This didn't go all the way through. So just quick bit on there and there, and we're done. So that's, oh, I've just realized I've got to move this over a little. Now, you'll notice something here. This isn't moving from here, it's moving from its current location. So yeah, be aware that if you screw something up, you'll be moving it from its current location rather than where it started from. So yeah, that can be a bit aggravating, but it's how the software works. Okay, so those are some simple greebles. Let's go into something a little more complicated. So I'm going to make a little thruster. Now, what I would normally do for this is I'd go and make a little couple of circles. So I went up there, but it's, as I said before, C for Charlie. And I used alpha lima to get the line. And then I'm just going to make those vertical. Make that all tangential. So constraints, useful, go work them out. Now, I'm going to make that 13. And I'm going to make this, 6. Yeah, 6 looks good. Okay. So that's how I would normally draw one of these. And actually, I've just realized I've not fully constrained this. So you're in line there and you are 23. So there. Now, that's how I used to do it. There's a much quicker way of doing this sort of thing. If you go to create, go to slot, create slot. Now, one of the things you'll notice with Fusion and other 3D modeling software like this is it will be asking you to make the object, then constrain it. So this is something that when I was at university was the sort of thing that got me. It took me ages to go from the 2D stuff, which you have to sort of dimension as you go, to this sort of stuff where it's all fluid until you actually decide that, no, you want this to be there. So I will make this bit 23 again. Okay, so that's that. Now, one of the advantages of doing this, things this way, is if you try to offset something like this, you'd have to only offset one bit at a time, or you'd have to use T for tangle to trim. Trim's also up here, you see highlights. So yeah, it's a lot quicker. But what I'm going to do with this, I'm just going to offset it. Let's just say 2. Yeah, we'll do 2 for this. So, and actually, why don't I go back to here and offset this too? Because I'm going to use both of these for just messing around. So, we're just going to extrude both of these by, say 2. Then we'll get that sketch back. We can go open up all the sketches and just tick that. There's also a bit where you press, I believe it is V? Yeah, V for Victor. And that will bring it back up. So, yeah. Now I'm just going to take these two and I'm going to extrude them 13. So, no particular reason for that. I'm just going that size. So, reason I've got 2 of these up is because there's 2 ways of putting a chamfer on this. So there's this straightforward chamfer tool, which you'll take this and you'll go, well, you can do either equidistant. So if you want your thruster just to have a little chamfer like that, or down to there, then yeah. But I'm going to use 2 directional because that means I can change this and this length independently. Now, there is a third option where you take angle and you can go, just start playing around with it. So that can be useful, but for what we're doing here, it's not really. So I'm going to do that, and I'm actually going to increase that slightly there. So the next one I'm going to use is called draft. So draft's actually quite a useful tool, but it's kind of specific. So what it does is it says, I want a pull direction. So this is the body that you're starting from, or the face that you're starting from. And then the face that you're going to change. And I'm wanting to change that at 5 degrees. So it tapers it in 5 degrees. So this can be quite useful for making stuff like this if you just want a cool looking shape and you're not too bothered about how thick this bit ends up. So I'm going to use this one. Actually, I'm going to use both of these for this, but I'm going to just project, right, and line. Actually, is that going to work? Yeah, that'll work. Line, line, line. So there's a reason I'm doing this, and I'll come back to it in a second. So next bit is I'm going to draw a box. Now this is going to be some sort of vent, fin, ducting, whatever. So yeah, I'm just going to be doing that there, and oh, I'm going to need a line here. I'm going to say there to there is 1, and there to there is 0.8. Yeah, we'll do that. So take this, and we are going to pull it down. Now I want it to be sort of equal distant for both sides, so I'm going to do that for now, and let's see how far off I was. So 1.2, I am 0.2 of a millimeter off. So that's fine. I just go back in here and put in 16.2. Now, this is on extent. You can do this spacing, which basically would turn it 8.10 or extent. Now, the next thing I'm going to do is this quantity. Let's see. Oh, no, 9. Oh, that's far too many. 5? 6? Yeah, I'll go 6. Maybe a little more actually. So you'll notice I can double click on this icon here, and that brings up the pattern. So go to 8 and see how that works. I'm just going to check how is that 1.5. I'm going to try 9 again. I think that was just a mess up. What are you now? 2. I think maybe you can get away with 10. You can measure this all out, and yeah, that would be probably ideal, but we're just messing around. And look, that's exactly 1 mil. So that's kind of what I want. I want to have equal spacing, and I want to have an equal, like, everything in the middle. Now, what I'm going to do, to save me having to do the whole thing again, I'm just going to select everything and mirror over. So mirror command is under create, and it needs a point, so just use that, and there. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to go in there and extrude everything. Oh, no, I don't want that. I'm going to extrude 9. And I'm going to do join. Now you could, if you, oh, hold on, I just spotted something here. Ah, okay. Right, let's go back a step, because this is doing something stupid. It's pulling those through. Now it shouldn't, but it is because I haven't projected that to make the sort of blocked off. So, there, that's better. Okay, so I am going to start messing around with things. The first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to start chamfering things. So that's why I've got 2 of them here, because this one is going to get chamfered on all these surfaces. It's not going to be a big chamfer, but it'll be enough that I'm able to play with it. It's also just going to add a bit more detail to things. So that goes down by 0.2, maybe 0.3, and then we all the way back. So yeah, so that's kind of an exhaust vent ducting sort of thing. This one, I'm going to use the draft command. So draft, go from this go here. Oh, it's drafting in the wrong direction, but that's fine. I'll go fix it in a second. So you notice I'm only selecting one side. That's because I'm wanting to draft downwards. Now, that is, yeah, I'll go with that. And then I'm going to go draft again. And I'm going to go on all the top surfaces this time. So this is a sort of vent or ducting the particular whatever it is down. So yeah. Now, okay, hasn't quite worked out here. The computer's kind of got silly. So yeah, it doesn't always work, but that is how you would create that sort of effect. Now, let's go and put this sort of thing into a practice. Now, I'm going to draw another little body here. So make things simple. Project this line. Get this all lined up because these two bits are all connected. And I'm also going to make it a sensible distance. Oh no. D for delta gets up the dimensions. It is also up here, of course. But yeah, dimension that. I'll make it 60. Make that 30. No, that's 40. Right, we'll do 40. Okay, and then I'm going to extrude it back 5. That'll do. So let's just see. Yeah. So what I will do is, rather than redraw that whole thing again, I'm just going to copy and move it. So create copy and move. Just move it over here. So look, how's that? Yeah, I'll go with there. So just to create a duplicate of that, I'm going to get a midpoint. So I go to construction, midpoint, and then midpoint there. Now what I do with this is I just go in and mirror this body about this plane. And there we go. Now, just to make things easier for later, I'm also going to midpoint this way. So this is why I normally say, like, make things about the origin point, because if you do that, you don't have to do all this. But in this case, we're messing around with a lot of other things. So now we've got these, we need to add some detail. So quick bit of detail would be a pipe. So let's go and make one. Now, this bit is not something I showed there earlier, but you'll get the idea of what I'm doing. So I'm just going to draw a couple of lines here, 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 here. Get this to the center. Going to have, just trying to think. Yeah, let's fillet things first. And increase these a little. There, that'll do. Okay, and then I just need to go and 5. Oh, why don't I just say you and you are equal, and then here to here is 6, and there. Then I'm going to go into this bit and draw a circle. Now this circle is going to be 2 mil, and it's going to hit that point. So there. So now I'm going to do a sweep. Oh, no, not a loft, a sweep. Oh, not a rotation, a sweep. Sorry, I keep hitting the wrong buttons. And there. So 2 parts now joined. Now, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to start adding in a bit of detail using some of the information we had earlier. So a little bit along, 2 mil, how does that look? Maybe a bit much actually. 1.5? Yeah. Actually, I think, why don't I do this? Move this over 1 mil. As you can see, everything just goes into place. Now, I'm going to go into here and say this is 6. So, there. Yeah, that looks much easier for me to work with. So, anyway, this bit, I'll say 2 mil. So now I go here, project that, offset, yeah, I'll go 1 for the moment. Then I'm going to do line up here, line here, 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 project this line, constrain that there, make this vertical, make that vertical, and go, actually, can I just make that and that equal? Yep. And I think these might not be, yeah, they weren't. Now I can go here to here, go 8, and then make these two equal. It's probably going to break it in a second when I do this. Oh, no. So, yeah. And then I'm just going to tidy this up. So what I'm doing here is I'm making something that keeps the pipe basically on the wall, because it won't just be floating there, it'll actually be attached. So just a little bit of that, and then we'll go 0.8 synchronized. Okay, so that looks alright, but I'm going to chamfer a few bits. Oh, actually, go back in here. Yep, no, it was a new body. That's good. And I'll explain that when I come to mirror over. For now, let's just chamfer all these, or no, fillet all these. 0.8 there. So, new sketch on there. Project this bit. And I'm going to go create a bolt. So we are going to be using the polygon. I'm going to use this. I'm going to say you two are equal. You are vertical, you are horizontal. And you're 0.8. So there, and then I'm going to put these out by 0.3. So there, that's a nice little bracket there holding that pipe on. So I could go back and change it. That those sizes there, that's all a bit kind of small and that's kind of big. But I'm going to use that for the moment. Now, I'm going to mirror it. Now, why did I make that a new body? Well, when you start chamfering and filleting things, when you try to mirror those over, they don't work. So if you make the part that you're doing this, that you're then going to mirror over its own body, you can mirror it over without any problems. So there. So the next thing I'm going to do is just a little panel line straight through the middle. There is going to be another panel line, so I'm going to work on this bit first. So that would be 0.4, which does look absolutely tiny on this. So what I might end up doing is I might make that 0.8. That's the beauty of CAD. You can just go in and change things if you don't like them. So 0.8, yeah, that'll look better. Actually, before I do that, I'm also wanting to make a little panel. So I'm going to make one over here. I'm going to round all the corners off because I can. Okay, and then actually, see, what size is that? Can I make it 8? Actually, I'll make this 10 by 7. Put that there, by 2. Say you are 3 down. Offset this 0.4. So this one's actually going to be proper panel line size, but you can always mix and match these. So yeah, now I'm going to go and push this in minus 0.8. I'm going to get the sketch back. I'll actually get rid of the one I was working with before. 0.4 and there. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to make a rivet. Now, easiest way to do that would be take this and move it over slightly. So that's just taking a construction plane and moving it. So I'll go here. I'll go here and just do a little rivet. So this is going to be a fairly big rivet. So project this line, and these two are going to be attached. I'm going to say this is 5 mil, and I'm going to say that there to there is 1. So but here, say it is 2. Yeah, I would say 2 mil. I might need to move things over. It's a bit close. So just going to revolve this around here. And yeah, that is a bit close. So let's move this over slightly. So everything should follow over from it, so it's all fine. Now, did I make that its own body? Yes, I did. So this makes it easy for when I am making 4 of these, because I want about 2 top, 2 bottom sort of thing. Okay, and then I'm going to do mirror this and this around there, and that's that done. So a lot of big rivets and bolts, and this panel here, this is going to be a sort of panel that you would use to access important things in whatever this is, a ship or whatever. So I'm going to go and make a couple of holes here. So vertical, equal, 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 equal. D, make that 1. Yeah, 1 mil. And then I'm going to say that these are 1 mil in from the edge in all directions, because the sort of, if you look at panels like this, the bolt holes and all that, they're normally equal distant. They're all like the same offset from the sides. It just makes it easier when they're assembling it. Because remember, when you're in engineering and you're trying to tell some shop floor guy you've got to assemble this, you make it as simple for them as possible. You don't just go, oh, this hole is here, this hole is here, sort of thing. You try to keep things like in sensible places where you can, and it means that if you have to, for instance, put a hole here because you need 3 bolts and one of them is offset, they'll notice that, oh, those ones are in line, but this one's offset, so I'll drill this one offset, and that means it makes it easier for them because, yeah, they're not inside your head. They might only be working on this part of the project. They don't work on this whole part of the project. But anyway, bit of a digression there, but let's just go through it. So, I want to extrude all these down minus, what is this, 0.8. Now, what I'm going to do is I am going to do a construction line, but this time I'm going to do this thing. So there, and I'm going to do construction line on an angle from plane. That'll do. So here we go, and I want to project both the top and the bottom of this hole, and then I'm going to start drawing up a screw. So I think this is actually a bit deep for what I'm doing here, so we'll find out. Go din, din, din. Now this has got to be 0.2, there to there 0.2, there to there, we'll just say, why not 0.2 again? Okay, and then we just do a line from there to there, why not? So yeah, that is actually rather deep in there, isn't it? So let's go change this. We'll say this is minus 0.4. Oh, yeah. Computer had a thought about it and decided that yes, it was actually going to put the things in the right place. It hasn't put this in the right place though. So, okay. Oh, actually, no, that's a completely different line. But anyway, there's center line done. Now, revolve this around this. And something, yeah, there. So, first didn't look right, but it's fine. So, I want to get that plane back because now I'm going to go do my little crosshead. So, we are doing projection, whole body, that. We are going to do a little screw head. We are going to do that. There to there. 0.2, so it actually shows up. I also want to get something to grab, so I'll use that. I was just having problems grabbing the edge of that, so I can do that. 0.2. Yeah, that's actually a bit much. So let's go back here. So what is the actual size? Oh, hold on. Something's gone wonky. What is going on here? Right, okay, that's not right. I see the problem. 0.2. So I'm going to just undo all that because it almost was right. Now, what's the actual height of this? Because I might go and change things again. Yeah, that's far too small. So let's take a few steps back to here and say this is 1.5. And then I'm going to say this is 1.5. Just move everything in. Oh, 1.5. Yeah, these are actually getting really big, aren't they? So, yeah, that's fine. Oh, and it's lost its point. So, what have you lost? Oh, a lot of things. So, you there to there, 0.2. Oh, and that's why it's trying to go onto this, which is no longer the center. So what are you constrained with? I bet it's this. No. Okay, so there. Okay. Now it's lost its bit. Because I need to put a center line in this. And there. So back to this, and it's lost everything. So start again. So I'm wanting din, 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 din. I'm going to say 0.4. Do a midpoint. Do there to there. Go X, make that construction line, and then we're going to extrude this out both ends. So synchronized. Just double check. Yeah, it's not cutting into anything. It does look a bit wide, doesn't it? So let's go back in here, make this 0.2. So yeah, that looks better. So then go here, and we're going to do the exact same, there to there, there to there. So that should work. And then extrude this way, two-sided. And now we have a crosshead screw. So a rather large one if this is a thruster, but yeah. So now let's go just do some midpoints. So that we can mirror this all around. You could use a pattern, but that would involve me working things out, and this is, in my opinion, quicker. So yeah. Although I'm pretty sure I'd have failed an exam if I'd done it this way. Oh no, I want that. Get rid of those. So we want this body, and we're going to mirror it. Body, that, mirror along lines that. So again, we're just going to mirror face, body, and there. And there we have it. Oh, hold on, I just spotted an error. There. It's all done. So there, we have a little bit that would be on the side of a starship. We've got a panel, we've got panel line in the middle, we've got two engines with tubing connecting them, we've got rivets, we've got bolts, all sorts of little details. So that's how you can sort of apply what I've shown in previous videos and in this video regarding making greebles and make something interesting out of it. And the thing is, this is not engineerily unsound. As I said, there's a hatch that's obviously got something to do with these engines. There's a fuel line. Now, granted, this fuel line should actually be connecting to something, so ideally you would want another fuel line coming into this and this being split off or coming up. And these rivets are absolutely massive, but nah. So, I hope you've enjoyed that. If you've got any questions about how I do all this, leave the questions in the chat below or the comments below, and I will get back to you. Thank you for watching.